Happy Turkey Day, everyone. Gobble, gobble, gobble. It's the Is This Love? I didn't even say the name of the show yet. Sarah was already cracking me up too because she was laughing. Oh my goodness. It's the Is This Love podcast. the podcast where we navigate and discuss and talk and answer your questions about the weird, wonderful world of love and relationships, as well as maybe cooking a turkey. You never know. We could talk about that. I am Francis, a.k.a. the other guy, Gobble Gobble, and over there is Miss Sara, Gobble Gobble Nade. Sarah. Do you not like the word Gobble Gobble? Is that not a word that you like?
I don't know. It's funny. It reminds me of, I don't know.
What does it remind you of? Tell me. Because it reminds me of a lot of things too.
It's just like silly. It's just a silly yeah, it's a funny, silly sound you only hear at Thanksgiving, right?
It is the only, yeah. Because you're right? Every other time of the year, for some reason, turkeys are safe. We don't really eat a lot of turkey unless you're, I don't know, I guess in a sandwich maybe. But for the most part,
like turkey sandwiches.
But for the most part, you're not getting this gigantic bird.
No, probably not.
Have you ever had it deep fried, by the way? Have you ever had a turkey deep fried?
I have not. Have you?
I have, yes.
How was it?
It is surprisingly, I get it. I get why people are willing to burn their house down for a deep fried turkey. Because all right, so the people who did my deep fried turkey had to dig like a 6-foot hole in the ground, build like a fire pit under the ground, because oil just splashes everywhere, and you have to have like a rigging system. They had a rigging system where they had to lower the turkey slowly into the oil because the oil just like sputtering and making a mess. And you just had to slowly enter it and cook it that way. And it was delicious. I thought it was great. But it's a very dangerous way to make a turkey. Most people just put it in the oven or slice it up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I have heard people mention the deep fried turkey. And yes, the only time I've ever heard about it is when people talk about cooking it outside in something that, like you said, they rig up. I think maybe I've heard of it in like a keg. Someone used a keg once.
Yes, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Something has to be big enough to like accommodate that whole bird. How fast is it to cook a turkey that way?
I don't know, but definitely not hours. That's for sure. It's maybe a little less than like an hour and a half or something like that. Like pretty quick for a turkey, because you're boiling it in oil. So it's cooking, and it's like, 1,000,000 degrees in there.
I mean, that's a long time for something to be in oil, isn't it? Like for deep frying?
Maybe it's not that long. I don't know. I'm making stuff up right now, but
I don't know. Do they have like a gigantic fry rack?
No.
Bin to put it in afterwards?
Oh, I guess so, right? Like you have to
basket, I mean.
Yeah, you have to let it drip dry or something, right? Get all the oils dripping off of that sucker. But I don't know. I've only seen it, like I said, I wasn't a part of the cooking situation. I just watched in earnest because I'm like, I've never had a deep fried turkey before. This is going to be interesting. And that's their tradition every Thanksgiving. I'm like, this is amazing.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like you have to build the whole cooking apparatus yourself.
Mm-hmm. Every single time. And I was amazed that they went through all that effort just to make this turkey. It's like, just put it in the oven. Set it and forget it. Ron Popeil knows. But anyway. Just sipping on some T-Boo. No, T-Boo, I guess. Thanksgiving is pretty much, by the time you hear this, is gone, pretty much. Thursday was Thanksgiving. This is coming on a Friday, Black Friday. So here's your deal. No, you got it for free.
What a deal.
What a deal. It's a steal. So, yeah, I don't have any traditions anymore for Thanksgiving. I'm guessing you do. Do you have traditions still for Thanksgiving?
If my family wants to get together and do it, then we just bring stuff, I guess.
But that's the thing that happens every year, though. The family gets together. And
usually, Usually we'll do something. Sometimes it's at different people's houses or it's like maybe smaller. This year I'm actually going to 2, not both on Thanksgiving. Yeah. I'm doing an early one this upcoming weekend, which for everyone else, I guess is the previous weekend. For everyone listening, it's the previous weekend. Right. And for that, I'm making green bean casserole.
Ooh, yum, yum, yum,
and then, for actual Thanksgiving, I'm making a lot more than I usually would. I'm making mashed potatoes, which I always offer to make because that's one I've really perfected over time. It's actually, you know what? They're pretty darn good. They're not just, just potatoes.
No, I can imagine. My mouth is already watering from thinking about it because I love mashed potatoes, so I'm a big fan.
Yeah, they're good. I think they're really good. I make them with garlic. Nice. And this might not sound great, but they taste just the same. I do make them vegan because of my family. We have vegan family members, but they taste just the same. They're just as good.
Look, I'm from Southern California. We are big on the whole vegan scene, so I've eaten a lot of vegan restaurants. So yeah, vegan food can be really good.
That one, you don't really notice the difference. And then I'm also making sweet potato casserole for the first time, and that needs to be vegan and gluten-free. And so I'm going to be working with some substitution type ingredients.
Ooh, I can imagine,
some that I've never used before. And then I'm just picking up a frozen pie.
I was going to say, up until recently, my go-to was I'll go to the Honey Baked Ham store and I'm going to pick up the ham. I had the easy job of just I'll get the ham because you just toss in the oven for a few hours. No prep necessary because they did all the work. I just pick up this heavy ham. And that was my contribution. It was here you go, thunk. Here's a ham. Toss in the oven. Yeah. So that was my contribution.
So you guys do ham instead of turkey?
We used to do both.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Do you have a big group?
So originally, when I was younger, the family was everyone. So it was my grandparents would host it, and it would be family from all across Southern California. So we were, a couple hundred deep sometimes, depending.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, a couple hundred?
Yeah, in and out, right? They weren't all there all at the same time. People would come and go.
Can't even imagine. Yeah. That's crazy.
And then as time passed and relatives passed away and things like that, it got smaller. And then up until recently, I just celebrate it by myself. So I don't celebrate with anybody anymore. You
don't go to any friend's house?
I used to until one Thanksgiving they didn't invite me, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going to Friendsgiving anymore.
Oh my god!
I understand. I'm not very fun to be around, I guess, but
I don't understand. That's lame.
Yeah. So it was funny because I'm like, oh, it's around that time. I wonder what's happening, and then I got it. It's around this time we usually are starting to plan, and then I went on Instagram and I saw a picture of all of them celebrating Friendsgiving. I'm like, oh, okay.
Did you ask them why, you didn't get an invite or anything?
I was kind of hurt at the time, and I'm just like, wow, they just, they didn't even tell me. They said nothing. None of them. And it was kind of just jarring, and I'm like, well, Friendsgiving is also when we plan for Christmas, so I'm assuming I'm not a part of that either. And I'm like, oh yeah, well, no, okay, well, okay. And so so I've been. Are
you still friends with them outside of the holidays, or
not really? No.
Yeah, that would probably do it.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, look, I don't know what I did, and that's fine if whatever I did.
I don't blame. I wouldn't. I would be upset. I would be like, oh, I don't think we're friends anymore.
I was upset, and I was hurt by it, but I'm also just like, well, it must have been really bad because usually you tell somebody or something. But anyway.
Yeah, but. I don't know. I feel like you'd want to be like, okay, but seriously, what was it? But I get it too. You don't necessarily want to ask.
Yeah, because then, what if the answer is worse than I think it is? And I'm like, wow, I'm really awful. Okay, well, good to know. And I have to live with that.
What are you really going to do if you ask? I guess there's the small possibility that they're like, oh, someone told us you were busy.
Right. But I mean, no one bothered to check. All right, cool. So
right.
Either way, so most of my holidays for the last few years have just been me hanging out by myself. I do just.
Oh my gosh, you need to get together with that new friend group. I know they live kind of far away, right. But you should get together with them.
Maybe we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I realize people have their own family things that they do, and. So I'm not here to bother anybody. I just chill and, I look at everyone's time.
Just show up at their house with a big old ham.
Knock, knock, knock. I brought the ham. What are you doing? Like, all right, well, I guess I'm not invited to anything anymore. Thanks, guys. Here's the ham. Yeah, no, it's fine. Like, it's not that big a deal. I'm glad other people have things to do and family and friends to be with. I just kind of live vicariously through my timeline. And I look to see if anyone else is in my position. And fortunately, I feel very happy about this. This is going to sound weird, but no one else does what I do, which is celebrate the holidays by myself, which is nice. I'm happy to see that. No one should celebrate, well, except for me. No one should celebrate the holidays alone.
No.
I
think a lot of people do. They just don't post it.
True. That's maybe the case, but at least from what I can tell, people usually have somebody to spend time with. And that's cool. That's good. I'm glad. I'm happy for them. But yeah.
Well, and then I know people who hate the holidays because they have to spend time around certain people.
Oh, I love the holidays. It's like my favorite time of year. Used to be, at least.
Oh.
It was, yeah, I used to love it. Christmas, I get excited to listen to Christmas music after Thanksgiving, not before. I get excited to hear holiday music. I get excited to, buy gifts for people. Like, I mean, it's been nice on my pocket. I haven't had to buy gifts for anybody in the last few years, so that's nice.
Yeah.
But but I get excited to be able to do that and stuff. But yeah, not doing anything. It's okay. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Christmas is going to be very cheap for me this year.
All right. You too, huh?
But I do, me and my best friend always get each other gifts. And it's so funny. We both like to buy and receive the exact same thing. So we're basically just swapping like soaps and lotions and candles.
Nothing wrong with that.
We both love to get them and we both love to give them. So
yeah. No,
nothing wrong with that.
No.
And I think we like each other. I love her taste in scents, and hopefully she likes mine.
Well, hopefully if she doesn't, she'll tell you. Not in a terrible way, but just be like, well, I really like this other thing. And so you at least file it away for the next time. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I would. She always says she loves it. I think it's really fun because we get to try something that the other one didn't necessarily find. Yeah. Like something that I was like, oh, where did you find this? This smells amazing,
There you go.
So that's really cool.
So I love that you said, but do you not get anything for the rest of the family? I'm assuming that your family will do something. We'll talk about this when we get closer to Christmas. I'm assuming you guys do something for the Christmas or maybe Hanukkah holiday at least.
I
right?
used to. Well, I will buy something for my nephews because, they're kids. Yeah. I used to arrange a Secret Santa.
Oh, okay.
So that everyone would just give and get one gift.
Sure.
I think the family's tired of that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They all get things for their own spouses and kids, and they're like, I don't want to have to buy another gift on top of that. So, yeah, I don't know who else I'll buy a present for.
As long as you guys just celebrate together, right? Like, there's going to be another party, like, a la Thanksgiving, I'm assuming.
Well, I don't know. Like, I don't think anyone wants to do the work.
Oh, sure.
Like,
yeah.
There might be something, but I also don't want to put anyone out because nobody's going to be coming to my place. It's too small. Like, it would not be a fun time for anyone. Mm. And I don't want to, like, make anyone feel like they have to host anything. So I am fine. Well, because it's stressful for the people who actually have everyone who has a space that's big enough. It's a little bit stressful for them.
Sure.
So I'm kind of like, I'm not going to expect anything. And I think it'll make it a less stressful holiday season for the people who feel like it's their job to host,
Rent a hall.
Oh my God. We don't have 200 people in our family, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. But I'm sure I'll get together. I'm sure I'll come over and give the boys their presents, and that'll be a really good time.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I guess it's what makes me enjoy it so much is that you have those opportunities to see the people you don't get to see very often, or even if you do, you get to kind of surprise them with something, which is super fun. And so that's always a plus. But what is a memory from Thanksgiving that really stands out to you that you're like, yeah, a good one, not like everyone yelled and threw knives at each other, which I guess you can, that's perfectly fine. But I'm curious if you have a particularly memorable Thanksgiving memory.
Well, I just know for several years we would have Thanksgiving at my aunt's house. Okay. And she has a really cool house. It's like on the water or like the ocean, like, yeah, right by the ocean.
Wow.
You know, it's not like swimming or tanning weather at this point. It's pretty cold now and gray, but
yeah.
It's still fun to go out because she doesn't have a sandy beach. She has one of those rocky beaches where there's like little crabs under everything. So it'd always be cool to go out and do that. And it would just be like everybody's really super chill because my aunt's really pretty chill. Everyone would bring their thing and then just sort of like plop onto a couch somewhere. And I don't know, it was just like these really relaxing memories of Thanksgiving.
That's nice.
Kind of nice.
That is very nice. That's a really lovely memory of Thanksgiving. I think that's great. I kind of want to buck the trend, especially since lately there's always these anecdotes and stories of families hating each other on the Thanksgiving because they have to be around people you don't like or with people of whatever. For whatever reason, I don't want to go into it because I think it's ridiculous personally. But I just do. It's like, come on, you guys are family, whatever. I want more positive. Like, I want us to make that change for things. That's kind of what the show's about anyway, is like, even though we get questions of negativity and like badness, we don't ever say, well, tough luck, you're stuck with that, or, oh, the world sucks, doesn't it? Like, we try to be positive, or we try to provide some positive advice and suggestions. So we want to be able to leave you with a Thanksgiving positive memory. My parents live out in Las Vegas, right? Mm-hmm. Buffets in Las Vegas do Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
The most amazing Thanksgiving, because A, you don't have to clean up after yourself, and B, you have all the foods in the world to choose from that are very, they have the turkey and the ham and the mashed potatoes and everything you're making, they already have made by like a crew of chefs. And you just go up there and get the food. And it's like one of the most amazing things ever to just be like, okay, yeah, family's here, we're all gathered together, we're all having a good time. It's like, we don't have to think about it afterwards. We can just eat to our heart's content and just like fall asleep.
Oh my God, you should do that. You should go get a hotel at Las Vegas and you should do that for Thanksgiving.
I wish I could. I totally wish I could. I can't in my current condition, but and maybe next year I'll be.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year I'll be fully like in food ready eating mode. But yeah, unfortunately.
That's right. You gotta watch all that stuff. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, next year that would be so cool.
Yeah.
You got a room and like relive that amazing Thanksgiving.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, look, we'll see. Look, I don't know. Maybe next year, as we progress in this weird and wonderful world of relationships, maybe there'll be another family I can go hang out with by then.
Oh, that's
true.
Know. Yeah.
You never know. It's a year from now, maybe. Or maybe not. And that's fine too. Again, it's okay. I'm happy everyone.
Well, then Las Vegas.
Yeah, I guess so. But, all right. Well, speaking of being thankful and having wonderful things to be thankful for, let's get some questions that we are thankful that people have. So let's enter into
Is This Love Questions?
So we sang it. I'm not going to say it if we're going to sing it. All right. What is our first question?
I think that's good. That's perfectly good. Yeah. Okay. 2 years ago, I cheated on my partner one night when I was really drunk at a conference. And I know there's no excuse and I'm a terrible partner and I still regret it so much. I begged for forgiveness and promised to do what it takes to rebuild their trust. We had about a year of me doing everything to reassure them, and then things started to get better. But for a month or so, they've been acting a bit off, and then finally yesterday they opened up and said they want to sleep with someone else. And they feel it's fair because I cheated, and after they do this one time, everything will be even. I feel absolutely gutted, and I don't want that, and feel like I already did so much work to gain forgiveness, but should I just suck it up because it's only fair?
An eye for an eye.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. Look.
Yeah.
It's the season of Thanksgiving. Just give a little.
Oh my God.
Give them that. Whoever they are.
It's not that big of a deal.
Sorry. No. Awful. Oh, bad. I hit myself in the hand as a reprimand for that. Yeah. Wow. I get it. And I mean, that's a thing. That's often a mentality when it comes to that kind of stuff. Now, I don't know, Sarah, have you ever found yourself in a situation where, maybe not necessarily cheating, but your significant other felt like, well, in order to be on an even playing field, I have to have done what you did, whatever it happens to be?
I can't even think of something else. I know that there's like times when you feel that I know that there's situations where someone might feel that their partner doesn't understand their frustration. Like maybe their partner always forgets their birthday, but they always do stuff for their partner's birthday. And they're like, well, then I'm going to not do anything for your birthday so you can see how it feels. Like, and then I'll feel like I've given you back a little bit of what you give me. Right. And actually, I've heard about this a couple times. I know a couple of people who have partners who just don't remember their birthdays, which is very sad to me.
Yeah. Of all things to remember. Okay, maybe you don't remember an anniversary, sure, maybe, whatever, because that's kind of an arbitrary date. But a birth date is kind of like set in stone. Like, you know exactly.
Yeah, just put it in your calendar. Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's kind of like not really like, I want permission to forget your birthday, but kind of like you don't understand how much this hurts me, so I'm gonna show you. Right. But I don't know, maybe it's a little different. It's not really getting a permission to something that's absolutely not okay, but
right,
I deserve it because of what you did.
You did something bad.
I don't know what would be an equivalent, and I don't think I've ever experienced something equivalent. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, this one's tough. I mean, I look, when the cheating happened to me, first off, I didn't have the means to even get back if I wanted to move this way, because it's not like I have ladies lined up who want to sleep with me or something or anything. So it wasn't like, oh, well, then I should be able to do it to you. It's like, well, nobody wants to do it with me anyway. So that wasn't quite a good kind of, tit for tat on that one. But I don't know, if you're hurt so much, right, and you're like, the only way I can get over being hurt by this event is by reenacting the event on you, and like that's the only way, then people logically shouldn't be thinking this way, right? Like, this is another therapy moment. If you can do therapy, this is a therapy moment, because I'm certain the therapist would be saying, what are you doing to your partner? And be like, this is not the answer. Yes, they hurt you, but this is. I can't imagine it would be in therapy. Yeah, they're like, the therapist is like, well, actually, you should really think about this.
Yeah.
Listen to what they're saying, because it's the only way, The scales even out if you do this. It's like, you did cheat on them, They should be allowed to cheat on you too. It's like, the question is, why do you feel they need to do this? But why do they feel like this is the way that you can be even, right? And that's a question you have to ask yourself. And B, it's funny that things went well and all of a sudden she's like, no, I need to cheat on you now. Whoever this person is, male or female, it doesn't say, but it says for months, like, we had a year of me doing everything to reassure that things were getting better. For a month or so, they've been acting a bit off. So, like, a year of fixing things, and all of a sudden, a month.
I feel like they met someone.
That was kind of my long-winded way of saying they must have seen. Yeah, they must have met somebody.
I think that this is not just like, well, I'm still hurt, so I need to go find someone willing to do it with me now. I think they have someone willing to do it with them now. Exactly. They didn't before. Exactly. I almost feel like it would feel a little bit different if right after they cheated, they were like, well, I need to go do it, and then we can be done.
Exactly. Why wait a year? Yeah.
And I still don't think it would be a good idea.
No.
And I don't think it would fix it.
No.
I think they would still say, well, you cheated without, like, my permission, and I only did it because you said it was okay. I don't know. I just don't think it would feel right for either person. But have you heard before, like, I don't know if I've only heard it in movies or if I've actually, like, read people do this too, where, like, a person cheats and then they want their partner to cheat to try to make up for it. Like,
to me that makes sense too, because that's a guilt thing, right? They feel so
like, you
guilty.
go do it and then we'll be even. Yeah. So I mean, this is not that, but
No,
Yeah.
This person tried to fix things, right? Try to make things better. For however they did it, they tried to make things better. And then, yeah, in that year, the other partner was like probably because they were hurt. Maybe they were detached and they're looking around and they're like scanning the horizon, and all of a sudden they notice something in the distance and they're like, oh, well, here's someone who I'm attracted to, who I can obviously get to sleep with me. Now's my chance to kind of pull this on on my partner. It's like, well,
maybe I want to see if I like this other person better.
Yeah.
I think that, two wrongs don't make a right, though.
No.
And it's not really an eye for an eye, though, is it? Because they cheated and then they spent over a year doing like overboard stuff to help you, which they should.
Yes.
They absolutely should.
Oh, yeah.
That's like the retribution. That's the like making it even part. Yeah. So it's kind of like an eye for an eye and a tooth.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're evening it out after you got their what do you call it?
I know what you mean. It's not retribution. It's not their revenge either. It's their, I almost want to say comeuppance, but that's not it either.
Like basically their peace offering,
right.
But like it's like an ongoing big, huge peace offering, and you've accepted it, and you're probably still accepting it because I know this kind of break can take a while to get better. So, and then you're like, okay, on top of that, on top of the thing that I accepted to make this okay, now I'm saying the exact same amount of damage also needs to be added on top of that towards you.
Right. In other words, the scales tilt over because you've already tried.
And you can never even it out.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to even it out.
So in this particular case, if this cannot be negotiated, in other words, if your partner is adamant on this, then I think the relationship is kind of done then, because they're not compromising. They're saying you already did everything you could to repair, but now I want to take it one step further. Well, that's not how it works, right? Like Sarah said, 2 wrongs, right? 3 lefts maybe, but not 2 wrongs. We'll make it right. Okay? So you have to. I don't know if Sarah tried to figure it out or not. She paused for a second.
No, I get it. Okay. It's very good. Very good joke.
No, but yeah, like it's going to be an issue, and then that's going to hang on your head, and then what? You have to cheat again to like. It's just and might as well just see other people if this is kind of like the roller coaster ride of relationship you're going to be on. Yeah,
they're kind of like entering into this weird. Like
it's a competition.
Hurting each other, trying to like level things out. That's not healthy.
No.
Yeah. Like Francis said, if this comes up, probably therapy is the first choice, unless you're just like, I mean, anyone can end a relationship for any reason at any time. And if this is your button, go ahead. But you could try to talk to a therapist about it.
Yeah. Do the therapist first if you can. But if that's not an option and your partner is not willing to discuss or even even ask your partner, like, wait a minute, so what did I do spending this entire year? What was that point, right? Like, what was I trying to achieve if it still makes you get to this conclusion that you have to cheat on me to make it even? Like, what is all that other stuff? But yeah, I think overall, if they're adamant and they demand that this happen, well then.
Yeah, I don't think that's a really bad sign.
That's not salvageable, I don't think, because they obviously want this more than the relationship. They would want to cheat more than they want the relationship to work in that case. By that point, so I don't know.
Yeah, ugh. It's not good. I think we both agree that it's not only fair.
No, it's not fair. No.
That's not the situation.
Fair about this. No, this is definitely tilting the scales way too far on the other side in a bad way. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Though?
Everybody hurts.
Sometimes.
Oh my God. I love it. I love it so much.
This is where our co-hosting. This is how much time Sarah and I have spent together. In which now we're doing this stuff, this annoying thing. All right. It's fun for us, but I'm sure everyone else is rolling their eyes.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed
too.
it enough for everyone.
I had a great time, but I understand that if people are rolling their eyes right now, I understand why you're doing it. But speaking of not rolling with anything, unfortunately, we have another question that's...
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. How do I handle my wife's short temper? I love her. She's wonderful when she's happy, but she flies off the handle a lot, and there's no talking to her when she's like that. There's no physical abuse, but lots of yelling, and a couple times she threw objects, but not at me.
Okay. Did she ever, spill something on herself and she just threw it? Never mind.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. There's an example that came to my head. Now.
I knew you would.
It's there in the question. We're just doing it for us now, guys. That's all we're doing the show for. So, would you consider yourself personally as a person with a long fuse or a short fuse when it comes to your temper?
When I'm totally by myself, I can have kind of a short fuse.
Okay.
Lots of things annoy me, but when I'm around other people, I much more go with the flow. Or if I get upset about something, I try to not be upset about it. Yeah, when I'm by myself, if I drop something, I'm
Oh, do tell. What
I'm damn it! I have a sailor mouth when I'm by myself.
Oh yeah, I think. Well, yeah, because we're pretty PG on here for the most part. Even when we talk about sex and stuff, we're pretty PG. But boy, oh boy, yeah, when Sarah's got a mouth on her. That's for sure.
Yeah, when I'm by myself, I'm not worried about anybody freaking anyone out or anything. If I stub my toe and I yell an obscenity, so.
I don't know. I've heard when it's just the two of us. I've heard quite a few. So.
Yeah, well, I know you love it though.
I do. That's true.
I think people don't mind if I'm angry about other stuff, but when someone does something that makes me angry, it usually takes me a little bit of time before I can bring it up to them.
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's. I guess it's not a short fuse.
No, that's a pretty long fuse then. If you're
I can be angry right away, but it will take me a while to figure out how I'm going to vocalize that.
Yeah, I'm surprisingly similar in the sense of I don't know if I have a short fuse if I'm by myself, but I do have a tendency to get angrier when I'm by myself. That's for sure. Because I feel allowed to, right? I feel like I have permission.
Yeah, but you're totally allowed to.
Yeah, I have permission to be mad at things. So I scream obscenities too. If I'm in my car, I will scream. When I'm driving with somebody and somebody cuts me off, I'm just we're okay. It's all right. Don't worry about it. But if somebody cuts me off when I'm driving, what the fuck? Just start yelling at the car in front of me, and it's just all right, well, because no one's with me, so I feel like I can let it all out and not feel like I'm a crazy person.
Yeah.
So I so I understand that. Now here comes the more, I guess, the serious part is, have you ever been in a situation or relationship where you had to walk on eggshells because you're afraid of making your partner angry?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I have.
And how did you negotiate that in your own head, I guess, to stay in a relationship with someone where you felt like you had to do that?
In my own head? Well, I definitely stayed too long. I really liked this person as a person. I think their anger stuff was mental health stuff.
Sure.
But they had a really good heart.
Yeah.
So it was tough for me. I stayed a long time because I really loved, it's like this guy. I really loved this person when they were happy and okay. It was tough. In that relationship, I got really good at when we were in a fight, talking very monotone and very quiet.
Right. Being
very reassuring, sort of. I'm going to step out for 10 minutes and I will be back. I had to learn to do all these things to make it not last too long. So, and to make it not escalate too much. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it was too much for me. I mean, I know people stay in relationships like that their whole life, and I just couldn't.
Look, I mean, you learned some really valuable skills, though, because I think that we as a society don't know how to de-escalate. We have a tendency, if anything, we stoke the fire whenever somebody's angry. People have a tendency to yell back, have a tendency to say things that they know will hurt the other person. And you had to develop skills where you had to bring down the heat, right? Whether it was stepping away for a little bit and talking that tone. I had to learn that when I was working at a group home and I had to work with children and I had to and these were at-risk kids, right? So they all have issues of some type or another, anger issues, whatever, throwing things, being violent. And you had to learn how to talk to them and you had to learn how to approach them so that they were forced to kind of go down to your level and not stay super angry all the time. Now, maybe this is what all this guy is missing, right? They have a wife of whom has a short temper, and maybe they don't know how to bring them down. Because temper isn't necessarily a deal breaker. Being angry doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of the world, especially if they're not angry at the person that they're yelling at. Maybe they have a short temper because, again, they accidentally broke a plate or something. Like, I broke a plate, and they're just getting angry because of a bad situation, and it had nothing to do with the husband or whatever, and it just was like, this is the situation, right? Mm-hmm. We don't know, right? I'm just speculating,
right?
So in my own head, it's like, well, okay, you just have to learn how to kind of bring them down because they're very easy to get really heated and get really hot. So you got to find a way to cool it down. And you already gave some pretty good recommendations, like kind of giving a timeout, stepping away and, again, keeping the calm voice. Like, that stuff is important because
it is good. Like, it's good.
It's a good starter.
But it's kind of almost like, it's like a survival thing almost, though. And I don't feel like you should be just surviving in a relationship.
But he's not surviving. He loves her still.
Well, I loved this guy, but that stuff broke me down. Like, it wasn't like I just totally kept my composure. A lot of times I would just break down. I wouldn't yell back, but I would just be like, I just wouldn't be able to continue talking. And like, it's really hard emotionally when someone is like this. So I don't know how you detach so much that you're like, oh, this is the situation now, so I shall become calm and like observe her. That would be ideal, but it's really hard to emotionally detach from your partner that way at the drop of a hat when they're in the heat of the moment. I think those are great skills to make it through those times, but she has to do, I feel like.
Well, I was going to ask, is there a way to unlearn the short temper?
Well, there's anger management, right?
Well, yeah. Okay, sure. That's true. But is there something that this person can do to help mitigate that? Or do they have to? Because, I mean, look, yes, if it's so bad that they feel that they cannot live a normal life, then, again, our first recommendation is always to go to someone who's a professional. Go to that therapist.
Yeah,
go to that person who knows exactly what they can do. Now, again, not everyone necessarily has access to that. That's unfortunate that we just don't, we just don't have those means. Or sometimes people, for good or for ill, may not necessarily feel like that's a method that they can go to or an avenue that they can take. I'm curious, and we're not professionals ourselves, but I'm curious, this is kind of a question to put onto the ether, is if there is something that he can do to maybe not necessarily unlearn short temper, but to be able to allow her to recognize that, hey, you have a short temper, you're getting angry, maybe even irrationally. Well, I'm guessing it's got to be irrational because there can't be that many things to get angry about.
Well,
or maybe there is.
There is. Yeah, you can.
I guess you can make.
You can come up with. Yeah. You can come up with code words, like I don't know, pause, like the word pause, or even something silly to like bring her out of the moment, like pencil,
right?
And just be like, when she this is something I've learned from someone else. Like when things,
it's like a safe word.
It's like a safe word, but something silly that's not the word that like that doesn't have to do with it could also just totally take her out of it, like pencil. But when something's going crazy, I mean, when the situation's getting like kind of crazy intense, yeah, you just say pencil. Right. And then but this is, I think, comes with therapy. Like you and the therapist and her, you all talk about this. She realizes in a calm environment what this is doing to you. Right. And then, you guys make this plan before it happens. I think the therapist is important because sometimes people who have a lot of anger in them, just trying to bring up calmly the issue will make them angry. Yeah. So it's tough. I really feel for this guy because I just remember that. It was very scary and stressful to be waiting for a person with a bad temper, a short fuse, wondering when they're going to go off again. Because it was also like some things that I was terrified would make him angry, nothing. And then other things, it was just like that. So it's actually a really stressful existence. So I think there's tools to make it out of her episodes fairly unscathed and to maybe de-escalate it a bit, but I think it's too stressful for it to all be on him.
Right. Which is why I'm like thinking there has to be a way to kind of unlearn that behavior. Right. I mean, part of me thinks that that's a behavior that you just develop over time because anger is kind of a reaction to something you don't have control over. Right. Like, what do you do when you have no control over something? You get frustrated, you get angry. And so your reaction is to be like, explode. Because there's no rationale in your head that says, well, it's just this, right? I broke a plate or, I did this, whatever it happens to be that isn't like a serious thing to be angry about, right? That is just kind of like something unfortunate. You just have a learned response to it. Some people get depressed when something bad happens, no matter what it is. They don't get angry; they just get depressed. Or other people have different types of coping mechanisms. Anger is their coping mechanism, not a good one, but it's how they cope and how they deal with a bad scenario. Yes, ideally you have that professional, that therapist, to go ahead and tell you these are methods in which you can kind of mitigate the situation and figure out what it is that you need to do to kind of get out of it, and hopefully have a normal relationship where they start recognizing, oh, I'm about to get angry. I should probably do something about it, right? Find out what the triggers are, find out the things that get them into that state of mind, and hopefully they can kind of, maybe not learn that, maybe, just kind of learn how to manage it properly and not go off the handle with the help of their significant other, because they're going to have to be able to,
Well, I think that code word really helps because you don't always know when you're in it. Like, it's hard to recognize that it happens so fast, and having someone just remind you, like, whoa, you're at that place that we talked in therapy and I had the therapist helped you understand that this is a very scary situation for me. So, remember that, like, let's remember that right now. And then like they can use the other techniques their therapist taught them, like maybe count to 10 or, sing a song in their head or something. Right. Yeah. Because the tough thing about people with explosive tempers is it happens so quick. And when they're in it, they don't see it. Like nothing else is there but the anger. It's like seeing red.
Yeah. Now, mind you, as you can tell by Sarah and my responses to this question, even though I've experienced it as a kid, like I had a family of short-temperedness. I've never had relationships in regards to that. So my reaction to it is like, live with it. I had to. Like that was kind of like my reaction. Like, well,
and there's different levels too. Yeah. Like maybe there's a level, maybe what he's experiencing is, I mean, it's obviously not super easy for him because he's asking what to do about it, but maybe he's like, look, this is almost bearable, but
right. It's just getting to the point
know.
where I need to do something because it's too often. It's
yeah.
It's not like I can't handle it, but it's just getting annoying. Like, oh, okay. So,
although yelling and,
right. Well, I mean, he does say it's, that, that there's, even though it's yelling and objects being thrown, which is kind of at the higher end of oh, this is really irrational. So, again, if it's that bad, it is going to take, I think Sarah's right, and it's just going to take that extra bit of an actual therapist, an actual anger manager, someone who has anger management as a thing, to kind of intervene so that you can come up with methods, because it's not just going to be something where you're like, well, I can just wait it out or will it away or whatever, I can love it off, whatever, and it's just not going to happen. You're going to have to be actively trying to kind of work on it.
Yeah, I don't think you should have to just wait it out every time for the rest of your life. That's not fair to you.
I mean, yeah, like if it was more of just like every once, she would often raise her voice a little bit, and it's kind of cute. Well, then, yeah, of course, whatever.
Well, yeah, it's a very different situation.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what isn't cute is when this question pops up. Oh boy.
Oh man, this one. Yeah. Okay.
Not that this question pops up very often, but
I've never heard of this bit.
Yeah.
Okay, my mother and wife got into a huge argument yesterday. My mother slapped my wife, and my wife slapped her back. It's not. My mother slapped my wife, and my wife slapped her back. Now my wife is fuming, and I think she's also mad at me for not doing or saying anything at the time. My mom is texting me and wants me to take her side. What should I do?
Well, I mean, my funny answer would be pay-per-view. And
oh my god,
or World Star, whichever one. But yeah,
you would not think it was funny if this was like your mom and your girlfriend.
The funny thing is that I'm pretty sure it got pretty close a few times with my ex-wife. I'm pretty sure.
Whoa.
My ex-wife and my mother did not get along very well. Would they have slapped each other? I'm certain that would have been a point at some point. That would have happened. But they kept it cordial enough.
Wow.
But yes, it's not easy having, because this is kind of like the sitcom kind of relationship, right? Well, my mom doesn't get along with my wife. Well, my mother-in-law is the worst. That kind of, that's where the Seinfeld jokes originated from, was stuff like this.
Mother-in-law. Yeah, very stereotypical.
Very stereotypical. It sounds like this is a one-time thing, because it sounds like this doesn't happen all the time. It just happened to be this one time.
Yeah, but they might have opened the door.
Maybe. It depends on what they were arguing about, really. Like, there's a lot of factors to this. Now, here's my problem, is my gut reaction is to side with your wife no matter what. You married her. It's kind of like in the vows. You have to, you can't be like, well, mom, like, no. You have to. Your mom's gonna have to get over it. And first off, the mom started it. The mom slapped the wife.
I would say you don't even need to just side with your wife because she's your wife, but also because she didn't assault first.
Right, I had to read it again to see who did what first. But so it sounds like you're kind of siding with me on this one.
I mean, yes, I think the person who lays hands first is the instigator and the technically probably the one who would be arrested in like a situation. But
right.
I think you definitely want to side with your wife. Oh man, this would be such a mess. I will never have to worry about this situation technically, but because my mom, I'll never have a wife, but
okay, well, true, that's true.
If I had a husband and this happened, that would be like taking it to another level too. I'd be like,
true, yeah.
Dude, my mom is like 5 feet. You cannot be I don't care.
Okay,
just
well,
step away.
What if the mom stabs him? Can he slap her then?
Okay, my mom is stabbing my husband, and I'm like, is slapping appropriate here? No, that's not the thought that goes to my head.
I'm just saying.
I'm like, let's go hide in the closet, and we'll call the police.
Right. Because mom has a knife, and she's stabbing everyone right now.
Look, no matter what your gender, if someone hits you, just get away from them.
Right.
And if you don't have to hit someone back to defend yourself, then don't.
Ideally, yeah. Even, every martial art tells you that, right? You only fight back in defense. Now, mind you, I guess this would have been defense, but still. It
kind of sounds like she was just mad. I don't think the mom was going to kill her with another slap.
No.
But yeah.
In defense of look, here's the thing. Let's just say, have you ever been slapped?
Yes.
What's your first reaction when you get slapped? You kind of want to slap back, isn't it? You just kind of want to react. That's like not even a thought. You're just.
I think it's shock. I think the first thing is just total and complete shock.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first thing. You're just like, holy crap.
Every time.
Have you ever been slapped?
Yeah, I was a kid though, and it was from another kid, so it doesn't count. Like it was just two kids.
No, that doesn't count.
Yeah, I've never been slapped as an adult, ever. That I didn't want to be slapped. I mean, I've asked to be slapped, but that's not in a weird sexual way. Just like
kid slaps or nothing.
Yeah, just like but kid slaps no. But like, yeah. So I've never had to encounter that. I'm fortunate that I've never been in a fight. I've never had to scuffle with anyone, even though I'm sure I've pissed enough people off at some point. But I think I don't look intimidating, but I just think I look like I'm too much trouble that I'm like, it's not worth it. Because no one's ever fought me. But yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, I will say that I don't really have it in me to hit someone. Like, I don't even think if they hit me, hopefully if I did have to do it in defense, that would come out. But I don't think I have it in me to hit someone, even if they like slapped me and made me really mad.
Right.
But I kind of understand that that's not the same for other people. And slaps aren't really, they're not, it's not like she was going to kill the mother by slapping her back, probably.
But I do see that as kind of like a reflex, right? When somebody smacks you.
She could say that. She could say that. She could be like, I like, my brain went blank and I just slapped. But, yeah, I mean, nobody's calling the police, I'm guessing, so we don't really have to worry about whether she.
I don't think it's that.
Whether she should have walked away and not done that, whether there's a legal issue there, because it sounds to me like that's not what's going to happen. But yes, definitely the mother is in the wrong here because you don't hit people,
right.
Mom. And I think what he should say to his wife is probably like, look, I'm sorry, my mom was wrong. I honestly did not know what to do there. I am sorry I didn't do anything, but like, I have never imagined in my life that situation would happen. And I just, I didn't know what to do. And I'm not going to side with my mom. I'm siding with you.
Right. I hope the wife didn't expect that there should have been a reaction because it's his mother. He's not going to react. Like, what is he going to do?
Maybe she expected him to be like, that is unacceptable. Like, I don't know.
Like, I know that here there was an expectation. You're wrong.
Some people feel
You're
like
both wrong. In this case,
they're both wrong.
Yeah.
Some people feel like your spouse is supposed to protect you from their family.
Yeah, but
like if their family's getting out of hand or their family does something bad to you, they're supposed to stand up for you on the spot.
Right.
So you could say like, look, that was just, I'm sorry I didn't tell her off right there, but that like, I did not, my kind of short circuited. But I'm going to tell my mom that was not okay. But also you need to not slap people. Also, I hope in my family.
Well,
I understand you had to maybe because she did it first,
right.
But
that's going to be the argument.
Like,
that's going to be the argument
yeah.
Is I had to because she slapped me first. That's always going to be the argument.
But we're not going to make that like a thing that happens in the family now. So
it's a Thanksgiving tradition. Smack.
Exactly. So I understand why you did it, but
yeah.
and my mom was wrong,
Yeah.
but, like, let's not make, like, this, like, I'm going to stand here right now and say, like, slapping's not okay, and if anyone slaps anyone again, I will say something.
Well, yeah. Well, hopefully. So now that you know, right? Now that the husband knows, he's not going to put them in the same room together for that, right? Like, there's going to always be distance. There's going to be slapping
it might not
distance, right?
Maybe he can do that for a while, but I mean, the rest of their lives.
Well, look, I mean, I know a lot of couples who don't ever see their in-laws, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
I mean, maybe this is the thing that, like, breaks, and he's like, look, I'm not talking to my mom anymore, because that is pretty awful of the mom to do that. But,
or,
you know,
or the wife doesn't.
And she might say,
yeah.
What's that?
Or the wife just doesn't, you know.
Well, I don't, that's so strange to me, like, when just the spouse is like, well, I'm not coming. I mean, it can happen, for sure, but I would think he would be like, look, if you can't get along with my spouse, then we're not coming to anything anymore.
Yeah, that's probably the normal situation is like, okay, look, we come as a pair. You shouldn't be doing that in the first place. What made you even think you can do that and it'd be fine? Like, that's the first thing I would tell the mom when she's like, why aren't you taking my side? It's like, well, first off, you thought slapping my wife was going to be okay for me. Like, that's not okay.
You thought I would side with you on that?
Like, yeah, what am I supposed to side on? You smacked my wife.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be like, go mom. I'm going to be like, what the hell is wrong with you? So, yeah, I think, so unfortunately, you're going to have to tell your mom you can't take your side. Even if your wife started the argument, right? Even if she's the reason why the argument even began in the first place, there should have been a turn around, walk away moment. But no, someone reeled back and gave her the palm. So it's like, what are you gonna do?
And I would just be like, Mom, there's to be no more hands laid ever.
Yeah. Exactly.
And if you see anything like that, just be like, ever again, just be like, hey, we're freaking leaving, and that's, I'm done. Or I don't even know I'm going to talk to you again, but this is a problem. I don't even know what you say, but you say something.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just like, yeah. So anyway, I think we've both kind of came to the same conclusion. It's just the mom is wrong.
Mom's at fault.
Mom's at fault. You side with your wife, and when your wife asks you, why didn't you do something? It's like, what am I supposed to do?
I'm sorry I didn't say something to her in the moment, but I was just gobsmacked.
Yeah, it's like, no pun intended.
No pun intended, yeah. Maybe that's not the right choice of words. But yes, and just like, from now on, if someone slaps, you can be like, I'm not okay with this.
Right. Oh, man.
That's not appropriate.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Now you're ready next time it happens.
Yeah. Wait, next Thanksgiving, you're ready.
Yeah, I mean, it should never happen again. Yeah. But if it does, you'll say, hey, not okay. We're leaving.
Oh, man. That's just, ugh. Look, we get anonymous questions. I hope the one who asked the mother and wife question isn't the same person who has the wife with the short temper. Oh
my God.
Oh, man. If they're the same person, oh, man.
Hell. I just want to run away and not tell anyone where I'm going.
It's just you and your dad hanging out in the back. Just like, all right.
Yeah.
I guess they're just going to have to deal with it. Just hear smashing in the background in the house.
Oh, my God.
All right.
That would be rough. It would be rough.
That would be rough. Anyway, all right. Well, look, with every Thanksgiving, we have a bit of pumpkin pie and some coffee, and that is the elements. I don't know if that's true, but maybe they're not the elements that make up the right left coast. But you know what? I'm going to say for this episode it is, as we celebrate Black Friday / Thanksgiving. Under the wire, this man gives us some questions, and we're going to answer some of them. And you too, look, if you want to be a regular contributor like Right Cow, and we'll give you a corner too if you want to be a regular contributor. We're not biased on giving just one person a corner. We have 4 corners. We're willing to fill them. So, but this particular corner, we have some stuff from Right Cow. What does Right Cow have for us?
Okay, I'm gonna pick some of his shorter questions because
I know we did an episode. I don't know how long it's going to be when you hear it from last week, but last week's episode was 2 hours long, and we had to find a way.
I'm still listening to it.
I know, and we have to find a way. As of this recording, she's still listening to it for me to edit, and so hopefully I'll be able to edit it down to, I don't know, maybe an hour and 45. Whatever, just less than 2 hours. So, right, Calicos. If we don't get to some of your questions, maybe we'll do a special during the holidays where we can answer like the longer questions or something. But for now, we're going to hit the short ones. So what short ones do we have from him today?
Okay. One of you live in a major metropolis. And I actually live close to one, so.
I don't live in a major metropolis. I live close to one too. But
yeah, we're both close to very, very big cities. Yeah. Of the millions of individuals, what ratio of individuals do you believe are dating compatible with you? 1 in 1,000, 1 in 100,000, or 1 in a billion?
Yeah, it was 1 in 1,000, 1 in a million, and 1 in a billion.
1 in a million, 1 in a billion. Well, there's definitely not a billion people in my city.
There's not a billion people. Yeah, unless we're in China. There's not going to be a billion people. Or India. We're not going to have a billion people.
Yeah.
The U.S. is only 400 million people.
Yeah, U.S. is not as populated.
Even though I know California has like a tenth of that. We're, I think, 40 million strong. So, yeah.
Well, I can tell you I belong to a Facebook singles group in my area a while ago, and everybody always complained about how few people there were to date here.
Yeah. I haven't gotten back yet into the dating scene. I don't know how many people there are here. Last time I did it, there weren't that many, actually. I had a hard time finding dates in general. But mind you, I'm like a 4 out of 10. So it's not like I was getting like a bunch of women clamoring to right swipe me.
Oh my goodness.
So it was a little different.
You live in a place with very high standards.
That's true. I guess that's true. But
you should come up here to date.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, why not? I can move anywhere. It doesn't matter.
You'll be very depressed for the first few winters while you acclimate.
But I love winter.
And then you'll just be... Yeah, but this is not like pretty white Christmas winter. This is like gray, rainy all the time winter.
That's my favorite kind of winter, though.
Everyone who moves here gets depressed.
I guess so. I'm already there, so it's not going to be new.
Well, you'll be very, very depressed for the first few winters, and then you'll just be like a mild chronic depression for the rest of your life.
Oh, I'm down with that.
Yeah, it's not too bad. The summers make you feel awesome. Everyone gets hypomanic in the summer.
Yeah, for like the 3 days there's sun. That's why you get you have to get it all out for the 3 days because you only have that time.
We had like 4 days this year.
Hurry! The sun! Gotta go!
I know. Did you see the Portlandia sketch?
Oh no, I haven't seen that. I like Portlandia too. I haven't seen it though. But,
Me too. I don't know. I'm going to be optimistic, and I'm going to say it's closer to 1 in 1,000 here for me.
I'm not picky. I was going to say I'm really picky and snooty. No, that's not true. Yeah, I guess 1 in 1,000. I would agree. I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm a person who believes that anything can, like, in the world of relationships, anything can happen. Like when it comes to love, because it just happens. Like it's just weird.
Yeah.
Especially when you're online as much as I am, it can even happen online. Like some random person, it happened. It happened to me, where some random person in another country, or it happened. So I'm like, maybe the number is smaller, but who knows? I don't know. If it were local, that'd be amazing. If it's in the same country, it'd be amazing. I'm gonna go with that first. If we can find someone in the same country, that'll be awesome. And then I'll go from there.
That's good.
And then they'll just get smaller and smaller until they're like, I'm living with them, and they're in my.
I don't even think I could do someone in another state. Honestly, that would still be too far.
It would be, but it's so much more manageable. In other words, traveling to someone like, I don't know, hell, anywhere in the West Coast. If it's East Coast, it's gonna be tough. But anywhere on the West Coast and like a few states, to the right of it, I think I can handle that. But if it's like
you've built up a stamina for long distance relationships.
That's true. I've learned, because I can do every weekend thing if they're in the same time zone. I can do that. I'm more than happy to do that. That's like no big deal to me to fly up to that person every weekend, hang out, and eventually move there, right? Like, my goal would be, it's so much easier to move to another state than it is to another country, is what I'm trying to say. You're right? Like, it's easier to kind of, like, in the first part of the relationship, just be, like, seeing each other as often as possible. That's easy. And then being like, well, I guess I'll just move here because I don't have to, like, have a visa or anything, or, like, have, like, special citizenship.
That's true. It's like, heck of a lot easier to move between states than countries.
It's like, oh, you live in this state? I'll move to this state because you're here, and I'm more than happy to move and move in with the person I'm in love with.
I think that's the only way to do long distance, too, is with the idea that one person is going to move to the other person's area at some point.
Sooner rather than later, definitely. And that's just easy to do when you're living in the same country. But so anyway, all right. What else? What other tidbitty questions does you
have? You liked this one.
Oh yeah.
Talking about video dating, if you were given a 1-minute video dating ad, what would your video sound like?
All right. Here we go. This is
do you have a clock going?
This is going to be because I didn't prepare for this, because we just got the question the day of recording. So, right, Cal, you got it under the wire.
All right. Do you have a timer going?
I do not have a timer. Are you going to time me?
I'll time you. Okay.
Tell me when to start.
Let me try to turn off my sound. If the alarm goes off, I apologize.
Is that a cracked screen? Is your thing cracked?
Oh no, it's a pretty design.
Marble. Oh,
yeah,
it's very nice.
Okay. Are you ready?
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, go.
Hello, ladies. I'm a Scorpio ready to meet someone new. I'm looking for a woman who can be nerdy and geeky, but also be willing to be romanced by someone who's had a little bit of experience romancing. If you want someone with a radio voice who can soothe you to sleep every night, I'm the one for you. Also, you know what? I'm not a lot of baggage, I'm willing to do a whole lot of what you're willing to do because I'm flexible like that. Also, if you happen to be flexible, call me. No, just kidding. But but also, look, as you can see, I have a sense of humor, and I'm hoping you'll find whatever I find funny just as funny as I do, because guess what? We're going to laugh a lot, and we're going to be chuckling. And we're going to be giggling while we go out to not so fancy restaurants, because that's why. We don't have to. We can eat at home. I don't care. You're the best. I hope to see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Good job.
That last part, I'm just like, oh, I'm just.
You're like, I have 3 seconds left.
And I'm going to end it like a podcast, apparently.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, I know. Bye, everybody. It's like, oh, is this love pod at gmail.com? Like, oh. So there you go. A minute. Wow. That was both too short and also too long in my head, because I'm like, oh, I have to think of more things to say. Well, so there you go, ladies. Now that you've heard my 1-minute video dating ad, Sarah, do you think that would fly as a dating ad, or would I have to probably script something?
I think you should script something, okay. But I think it's fun to do the just off the cuff one for fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah,
because you want to get all of your thoughts and all the things you want to say about yourself,
right. Inadvertently,
because you might have missed some things that are important.
That's true. The biggest thing I want to be able to put out there is that being fun and funny and sense of humor is important to me, in the sense of if we can't have a good laugh, if we can't joke around about stuff and kind of have a good chuckle or chortle about the world that we live in, then I think that's, that's important, I think, in a relationship, is to be able to laugh and smile at stuff. Because some people, I know this is always put on the ladies, but I think people in general I love a good smile. People with smiles, it's nice. It's just a nice thing to look at. Men and women both. Just have, this is not it's women's always no, just in general, it's just, there's something about it. It's infectious. Right? It's like yawning. Sort of. Smiling's kind of like yawning. Like if you see someone smiling, you kind of want to smile a little bit sometimes, unless it's manic, crazy smiling, and then you want to run away. But that's a completely different type of smile.
Or if you don't like them and you're like, I hate that they're happy.
As you can see from the beginning of this podcast, Sarah's been is hinting at things right now.
I'm not.
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right, should I do one?
Yeah, please. Oh, yes. Okay. I don't.
I've got a timer. Okay. I can do my timer. I'm not gonna. This is not gonna be like what I would actually write because this is. I
want to hear it though. This is gonna be amazing.
I'm gonna do whatever I want now.
Yeah, do it.
This is my. I don't expect anyone to get back to me on this one. All right, here we go. Well, I'm a Gemini, so I guess I hope you like multiple personalities. I have a cat, and if you're allergic, then just swipe left.
Right.
Because he's my baby. And I do art. I hate coming up with a way to say that. I don't cook. I cook a little. Set your expectations low. I will care a lot about your feelings. I will. And I am very loyal, and integrity is very important to me, so I'm not going to be like messing around and just, you're not hurting your trust or whatever.
You're not going to try to make it even.
That's all. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Okay, first off, this is why your dating video was effective. You showed sense of humor at the beginning while also adding a lot of the serious stuff at the end. So, like, you were able to joke about things. See, that's what I like about it, doing it off the cuff, sort of, is like it forces you into a situation where you have to really... You can't hide anything. This is no longer an interview. This is you showing who you really are as a person. And the first thing you did was go for jokes. You went for jokes 3 times in this whole thing. And
did I?
Yeah, and they were good. The cooking one, the Gemini one was obviously amazing. That was really hilarious. But like you went for these jokes, and about your cat. But you went for these jokes, right? Like immediately. Like you went for an easygoing sense of, and then you went to like the more serious stuff, which is something that people love, and it's all positive, right? But notice how I didn't do any of that, right? You went for like, I'm loyal, I care about your feelings. I'm like, I'm weird, and I do, say funny things, and I have a voice that'll put you to sleep. Like I went with that stuff, right? Which is not to say I don't have those same kind of, those same qualities where, yes, I do. Like, I feel like, I learned a lot from your thing. I wish you had gone first, because then I would learn from that. But I'm glad that you didn't.
Oh.
Because I did. Like, that's a great way of presenting yourself, right? Like, you doing that 1 minute, like, if you just put it out there, cleaned it up a little bit, 100% you would get a response. Because there's a lot to it that's really appealing, right? You're saying all the good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of really things that are like dudes are gonna be like, oh yeah, she's hilarious, or maybe it's just me. I find you funny. I think you're a funny person.
Well, I'm always friends with people who have like a similar sense of humor. So. Yeah.
So no, you see, you got the funny part, and then you say all the really important things. So like, yeah, I want someone who, I want someone who's loyal. And again, someone who, when they listen to the show, who knows my history, it's like, oh yeah, someone who's loyal. That's a big kind of like,
yeah, a lot of people have been burned,
right? And so it's a really, it's one of the check marks of like, yes, this is what I want, right? And care about my feelings, great, because I'm an emotional person. I don't say a lot about it on the show or whatever. Maybe I do, but like all of those things. So well done. I think that was a great.
Aw, thank you. I thought it was going to be totally random and ridiculous, but I'm glad you liked it.
No, it was fantastic. I thought it was really good. I gotta work on mine apparently. 'Cause, yeah. That was rough. All right. But
it's hard, like, when you just have a minute, you're trying to cram all that stuff in.
yeah, but you took it
I didn't give myself too much pressure, though. I was like, oh, I'm not going to say everything I want to say, so.
I didn't even say anything I really wanted to say. I just wanted to be kind of silly, so.
That's good, though. People like silly.
Yeah, I guess. The question is, will it get me a date? I don't know. Maybe not. Apparently, it may or may not. I don't know, but my guess is probably no, but that's okay. All right.
I think we need to bring back video dating.
I know.
Okay.
No, God, no. I don't need this. I don't need to freak them out the moment they turn on the video. Like, oh, that guy. But that's what they have to hear the voice.
We should make video dating videos when we're talking to each other, because we can cut out. Well, actually, it might be kind of funny to hear someone laughing on the other side.
Yeah.
And, like, you're way more relaxed when you're doing it in front of a friend.
Yeah. I think so, yeah. A video for you would work. I think it just should be audio for me. I think audio. Once they just hear the audio, they'll be like, okay, well, that's a nice.
You think it'd be good, too, to hear someone laughing at your jokes, too? Like a little laugh track?
Well, I mean, the fact that you laugh, yeah, because at least somebody's laughing, right?
Yeah, I think
like,
when you hear someone laugh, you're like, that's the whole point of a laugh track on a show, is so that people know it's funny.
Right, yeah. And you're not a laugh track. I don't have a sign that says laughed now. So.
Right, it's real.
It's real. It's organic. It's
exactly.
It's organic and gluten-free. All right, so.
All right, I've got a question for you now.
Oh, me. Yeah.
Yes. AKA the other guy comes out as a T-boo.
Mm-hmm.
Is he also a weeboo? A free boo? Or some other type of boo?
I don't know where all the boos are. I know, now that I know T-boo is being an Anglophile, then yes. I'm totally.
And free boo's the opposite.
And free boo's the opposite, which means I can't be. I can't be both. Well, I'm not from the UK either, so I can't be the free boo. But yeah, and weeaboo, I don't know. I'm not a weeaboo because I don't like anime enough. I like Japan. I just don't like anime and manga enough to be like a weeaboo. Even though I'm told I need to watch all this anime, I'm like, yeah, at some point I guess I will. But like, I don't know. There's just too much of it. There's like hundreds of thousands of hours of anime that I need to watch.
There's so much.
There is. Oh my God, there is. The one I'm told I need to watch is one. This one seems to be fairly universal. It's called Your Name. I think it's all about love and stuff too. So it's like, oh, you should watch that. All right. Make me even more sad that I'm alone. Good. Yeah.
Oh. I think the last one I watched, and I haven't watched very many besides like, the Ghibli films.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
I think the last anime show that I actually watched was Death Note. I was going to say
Death
One Note.
Note.
No, Death
Wow.
Note, yeah.
Of all the ones to watch, is Death Note. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I stopped watching after that one character died. I was like, I don't care about these new characters they brought in to replace him.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched. God,
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't watched anime in over a decade plus, so I haven't watched anything new.
I mean, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
That's an older one now.
Death Note is older, but it's still popular, I guess. Like enough people, and like if you say the word Death Note, people are gonna know what you're talking about. But yeah, no, I think the last.
I mean, it was very, very popular.
Yeah, the last one I saw, because I grew up with this. So don't judge me, America, or wherever you're listening to, Germany. I know there's some international people listening. Don't judge me.
Cool.
But yeah, no, I think the last anime I saw was Sailor Moon Crystal. So I think Sailor Moon is the last real anime I watched.
Sailor Moon.
Yeah, because I watched Sailor Moon as a kid or as a teenager, and I watched all of it. They had a fan club. They had a fan club, and it was really you get like. I didn't join. My little sister did, because you get like a backpack and like a pencil case and stuff like that from joining the club.
That's awesome. I wish I was part of that club.
Yeah, but I've watched a lot of Sailor Moon. I've just watched a lot of Sailor Moon, and so yeah, that's my like.
Oh
guilty.
my God,
that's like the thing. That's like my guilty pleasure, because I'm like, oh yeah, Sailor Moon, yeah.
Me and my roommate in college went through all of Sailor Moon. We were not sober when we watched them, and
oh no,
we had a hard time remembering what happened the last time we were watching it. So we did this thing where I would recap them, where she would put it on like fast forward ×3, and I would like talk really fast about everything that happened.
Oh my God, that would have made, if podcasting existed, that would have made an amazing podcast.
She put it on her YouTube. It cracked her up so hard.
Does it still
YouTube.
Exist?
I don't think it's still up. No,
Damn.
I know.
That would have been amazing. I would love that.
She was like, I have to record this.
That's awesome. That's really funny. Oh my, I love that. That's really funny.
It didn't make a lot of sense, but
doesn't matter.
She just loved how fast I was talking.
I didn't know you could talk that fast.
I can't. It didn't make sense.
Oh. Oh God. All right. Well, we're going to have to do an episode where we talk really fast, apparently, at some point. So yeah, so there you go. Now, I don't know what other boos there are that exist. So I'm not a free boo, and I'm not I'm not a weeaboo. I'm just a tia-boo. So there you go. Yeah, like I said, look, we're entering into the holidays. Let's wrap things up with a holiday cheer. Well, no, wait a minute, not holiday cheer, I guess, really, because can you be cheery with when we do things to ourselves in a negative way, Sarah?
Okay, so how partners commit relationship sabotage. Things come up for you in a relationship that remind you of maybe old relationships or past traumas, so you kind of you get worried, or you get really defensive, right. or you like end the relationship before you can be hurt in the way you think you're going to be from past experiences.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I am notorious for sabotaging.
Oh no.
Yeah. But that's half is it's survival and kind of like a way to make sure you don't get hurt, right? Like it's a survival mechanism, but also it's kind of a byproduct of depression. When you don't feel you deserve something, therefore you sabotage it.
Because they're kind of talking about that thing where you dump them before they can dump you.
Exactly.
Hurt them before they can hurt you.
Exactly. Yeah. Have you ever done this? Is this something you've ever done?
No, like, because they're talking about like you and hurting someone before they can hurt you, right. Or you
ending something before it gets too serious, right?
You ending something because you think something bad might happen, right. Or like things might repeat themselves, but you don't know. Pretty much in my adult life, anyways, whenever I've ended a relationship, like the bad things have already been happening for a while, right. Like. And yeah, like the damage has already been happening for a while. It's not like I think it might happen, and since I'm so scared, I'm just going to end it, or because I am imagining that they might turn out to be like my ex, I'm going to end it. Mm-hmm. Things already, and usually in their own unique way for each of those relationships, not something that I saw coming from a past relationship. But by the time I ended it, it was not because I was like being too cautious, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because they give a few reasons why, or 3 key ways on the phenomenon. One of which is defensiveness, trust difficulty, and lacking in relationship skills. Oh my goodness. I still think I lack in relationship skill.
I think a lot of people lack some kind of relationship skill, right?
I don't know if there's such a thing as someone who... Well, there must be people who can perfectly navigate a relationship, but I feel like...
I don't think so.
Maybe you
that
don't
can't
think
be.
so?
That can't be a thing. Well,
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I don't know personally. I don't know.
Both people probably would have to be perfect at it, so that...
That's a good point.
Nothing would come up that would be like, well, I have no options here because it's 100% the other person. Right. Although then you could just be like, well, then the right thing to do would be to take a 48-hour break.
Right.
And, because you perfectly know how to do everything.
Well, my mother just slapped my wife and she slapped her back. I guess I guess I had the perfect information I have for this is to
Good thing I brought this piece of plexiglass to place between them because I perfectly know how to navigate every situation.
Luckily, I brought these gloves so that they can truly just fight it out.
Oh my God. I brought mouth guards so everyone can be safe about it.
Exactly. And I happen to rent this ring so that they can just box it out and finally get their aggressions out. Yes. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think no one has all of the answers when it comes to relationships. And it's always ever changing, which is why it's surprising for people when they think relationships are supposed to be super easy when, yes, there is quite a bit of actual work and
oh my gosh, there's so much work.
Effort. But it's work that you want to do. In other words, it's not like having to always... It's not having to deal with their short temper forever. You know, again, learning that they learn how to navigate that they learn how to manage that, and therefore it's something that everyone kind of manages for everything else, for all the good times, right? You know, we often put up with
the good times make it worth it, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? The time you get to spend with this person, the sharing that of experiences is what makes the relationship worthwhile for a lot of people, you know, where it's good. You know, you're developing this, if you're developing a family, or if you're even if you don't have a family, it's just the two of you, like whatever, it's just you're building this thing. And when you I think building a trusting, loving, understanding and compassionate relationship, when bad stuff happens, it's like, well, I have all this other really good stuff that I kind of want to maintain because, like, it's really good. Unless, again, she slaps your mom or something. Then that's a bad... that's an issue. But
that is such a unique problem.
I know. But I love it. I love that was just, like, a thing that actually that happened to somebody. Like,
I know, it's crazy that's a question.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's... Maybe that's the thing that comes up when you're sabotaging your relationship. You really need to like step back and think, okay, I'm coming up with these problems right now that are making me want to leave.
Right.
What if, they aren't going to turn out the way that I'm afraid that they might, because I know I was with someone else who they kind of remind me of a little bit. I'm not saying don't have intuition, like they're exhibiting toxic behavior, but the fear kind of like takes over and is like, this is all just bad.
Look at the real world, right? The real world, we often focus on the worst things, the bad things. Very rarely do we celebrate good, you know. As a matter of fact, I remember they always save it for the end at these local news stations, right? They save the little kind of happy-go-lucky news stories of like, the puppy was saved. Look how cute the puppy is. Oh, we brought the puppy into the studio. Look how cute. Oh, look at my face. How cute that is, right? They save that for the end because everyone's kind of tuned into like, oh, terrible lightning bolts, explosion, puppetry based on my hands. But anyway, all these terrible things happen, and we have a tendency to focus on that stuff. So when you talk to them, what did you learn in the news today? They're not going to say, oh, this really cute puppy got saved and lick the face of the anchors. They're going to be like, oh, terrible, explosions. Bleh. We do that with our relationships. That's what we see the most is the bad stuff, when quite often there's really a lot of good. I don't know why we ignore that. I think that's just like in survival it's like a survival instinct, right? Oh, we know to avoid the bad. We know we focus on the bad because we know what to avoid.
I mean, you are looking out. It is a survival thing to look out for bad, but it's also like a mindset thing, and trying to remember that your mindset changes, and it's such a different state when you're happy and enjoying your partner than when you're in this state where you're like, this isn't going to be good. I can just tell it's not going to be good. Or, I don't really want to deal. These problems are too big,
Which is why in, this particular, is he a doctor? What was this guy's name? Peel is the psychologist Raquel Peel states that there's 5 ways in which you can help your self-sabotage streak, which is so we've already kind of talked about all of these: trust, commitment, communication, safety, and acceptance. we kind of broke it down just on our own, like just by talking about this topic, which is kind of amazing because we're just that good. We're just that knowledgeable on this stuff. But yeah,
could have written this article ourselves.
Maybe not.
No.
But
no, probably not.
It's nice that we both have had enough experiences to kind of figure out, like, yeah, these are kind of the things that we need to look out for. And look, our brains play tricks on us quite often, especially when things are good. Sometimes we get suspicious when things are good, right? Sometimes we get like a little like, it's a little too good. What's going on here? Like sometimes we overthink things and we get into our heads a little bit much. But when something's good, you know, sometimes it's okay to accept it, embrace it, trust it, you know. And if you have any issues, yeah, talk to your significant other. Let them know, hey, this is how I feel. And then if they can tell you, like, oh, that's okay, everything's all right, and they can reassure you that things are fine, boy, oh boy, it's going to be tough to get out of that sabotage mentality. But you will at some point when you realize every twist and turn that you think is there really isn't. And
yeah. I also heard this advice that, like, when things seem bad or like you're worried that they're going to be bad, to just sort of sit back and like observe for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
For a little while and be like, I'm basically like a rock in a stream and I'm just going to let the water go by for a bit. And that doesn't mean don't contact your partner. Like, don't actually act like a rock, but like, it means like just kind of take a step back emotionally and get a bigger picture before getting like sucked into the story in your head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't get sucked in, unless that's what you like to do. Then you know, then you'll get a voucher for when it's your birthday.
Oh my god. Have you been waiting all episode for some sort of...
No, but I mean, you know, you gave me something and I worked with it, you know, whatever. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. All right.
What are you thankful for?
What am I thankful for? This voucher.
Thankful for that penis joke in.
As long as it gets in. That's all I care about.
Oh, God.
All right. Oh, man. I don't know. One of these days, Sarah's going to just shut down Skype in the middle of our conversation. She's
That's it. I'm slamming my computer shut. I'm gone.
I know. I don't know. There you go. Self-sabotaging our little podcasting relationship.
Really? That would be quite the sabotage if I just shut everything down.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You'd be like, well, I guess we're done.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, this is going to...
I guess write in, everyone, but I don't know.
This is going to sound sad, but it's really a joke. But I'll be just like, I guess I'm used to this type of behavior by now.
Oh, no.
Everyone does this to me already. Oh, well. Anyway. No. All right. Well, look, we hope you had a fantastic Turkey Day. Gobble, gobble, gobble. We hope you enjoyed your deep fried turkey, your pumpkin pie with whipped cream and or other vegan option. We also hope you enjoyed your sweet potatoes. I don't know what else do you eat on. I don't know. There's like too many different foods. There's just so many.
There are too many.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't need to be 50 well, I guess we have 200 people, but I mean, that's not true. I guess it's just there's like so many things that don't get eaten, and then like
oh yeah. Well, but yeah, that was a good thing in our family because then everyone got stuff to take home with them. Like everyone was excited that not all the food got eaten because they got something to bring home to eat for the next day. So that's true.
We do bring home some leftovers. It's just sad when there's like that one person's dish and everyone's like, "Who wants some of this?" and everyone's quiet.
Usually that's the. Not the okra. What is it? The Brussels sprouts. This Brussels sprout dish that somebody brought in. It's like, really?
They don't reheat great.
Well, that and they smell bad already. Right? Like they already smell bad. I don't know why that's. I don't know why that's a thing that people eat. but yet people
They're
eat it.
good. They're roasted. They're very good. They're roasted.
That's true. No, that's a good point. Yeah, but it still smells bad.
Yeah, all those brassicas don't smell great when you heat them up.
But, so there you go. I hope you had some leftovers for today. Hope you got like a deal today because it's Black Friday. I don't know if people still do that. I haven't done it in a decade.
I buy the Adobe suite on Black Friday. I renew every year on Black Friday.
Is it on sale on Black Friday?
Yeah.
Oh.
But like it's still crazy expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do have a Black Friday deal. It's not just that Friday. It's like a week or something.
No, I'll have to think about that. Because I get at least... I don't get the suite. I get one thing. So maybe I don't have to think about that.
Well, it'd be cheaper, I think, on Black Friday.
Yeah. If Adobe Audition is cheaper, I might get it. Because I like Audition to record instead of using Audacity. No hate there, Audacity. Anyway. We still love you. We still use you. We love you. All right. Anyway... So yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Hope you have a great holiday season. We're really getting into it now because after this weekend, it's all Christmas music for the next month and then the new year. We're going to continue to do episodes. I don't know if we're going to, I still haven't, we'll let you know if we do an episode for the holidays, like actual days. Cause I think it's like Christmas is on a Sunday this year, I think. So it might not be much of an issue, but we'll see what happens. So, anyway, I keep saying so. A needle pulling thread. Have a great... Have a great end of your that was a Thursday, but end of your Thanksgiving, end of November. Remember, you can write in isthislovepod@gmail.com, isthislovepod on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Don't you know that you can find Sarah at saranade.and.pete if you want to see a picture of Sarah, a drawing of Sarah and her cat, who happens to be like on cue. I said the name, and Pete, like on cue, jumps on and then off of Sarah. Apparently wanted the love just only for a second. So you can go ahead and check that out. And I'm at AKA the other guy on all the things. If you want to, I still haven't posted there's like 2 bonus episodes I have to post. I'm going to do that ASAP so you can listen to them. Hopefully by the time you listen to them, they're both up. We have 2 bonus episodes that you can listen to of us talking about the silliest and weirdest articles that we've seen. Maybe we'll even do snow globing as our next one. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that. It's another terminology that we're adding to the pantheon of terminologies.
Oh my God, there's so many dating terms.
So we'll see. But anyway, that's it. That's all for our little bitty cleanup stuff at the end. Thanks everyone for listening. You guys are awesome. Happy holidays for real this time. And we'll talk to you all next time. Bye everyone.